Oop. How do I change the... Oh. There we go. It was backwards.
Oh, we have a dance! I forgot! We have choreo to this. What is this like?
It's still not in there.
Nothing in there.
Your ass literally came out. Yes. Oh, there she is. There she is. All right. Hey, y'all. Of course, Kevin and I are just goofing off. Ooh, Bryony said it says you're unable to join right now. I don't know if that's because you are on your computer, but it won't let me invite you in.
It's not loud.
Not allowed. Kevin has this ring light thing, and I have not really used it. I don't know if you...
Ask her to send another request.
All right, girl. We'll see you in a second. Technical difficulties. They happen. But you know, I used to be a lot more worried about them than I am now.
About technical difficulties?
Yeah, I'm not really like, now if they happen, it just kind of is like, well, because like it's COVID time, so it's happened to everyone now.
They don't happen as much on Zoom, at least in my experience.
They've definitely happened. I was hosting a 24-hour film festival, and then Zoom, literally the entirety of Zoom shut down.
24-hour film festival?
Porn festival.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds on brand.
Yeah, it's very on brand. And the entirety of Zoom shut down. Like, it was like 8 in the morning. I had been up all night. I had just taken a fatty bump of K. And then all of a sudden, all of Zoom, like literally all of Zoom shut down. Well, I think she was,
She's on the computer.
Yeah, she was on the computer.
I don't think you can do lives from the computer. I don't think.
So we're about to talk to Bryony Cole, and Bryony is the founder, lead, facilitator, podcaster of Future of Sex. So Bryony gets down on all the sex tech. She gets down and dirty in, she really loves to like explore all parts of the internet and technology with sex. And so we're gonna, let's see if this works. You wanna turn off the music with me?
I think it's off, but I'll try. Oh, this is the part where you wait. And there she is.
Hi!
Hi!
It worked. The computer let you down, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've ever done an Instagram live, so...
Wait, I'm taking your virginity? Yeah.
Feels so good.
Yes, it does. We'll be really nice.
Thank you. Be nice to me. Be nice. Be nice.
Oh. I was just thinking about how actually, I don't think I've ever told this to you. My first ever event when I decided I was going to do the porn cinema was coming to your event in was it the Williamsburg Hotel where Kenneth Clay and Mackenzie from Math talked, and Wednesday Martin. That was like my first one. I was like, I want to do this thing in sexuality and like figuring it out. And that was the first thing that I did.
That is so cool. I'm so happy that all these cool projects are being birthed out of just bringing together people that are interested in the same thing, right?
Yeah. It's
going, yeah.
And like, thank you for hosting such a space with such awesome people where I was like, all right, I can do this. I want to be around these people who are awesome.
And look at you now. I mean, everything that you created. I went to House of Yes. Was it your December or November event? Whenever I was in New York last. and I bumped into all these people I knew, even people from London, and I was like, what is going on? So you're
that warms my heart to hear.
creating such an amazing thing. And, you know, I was just like so excited about the topic of the conference that you're putting on, because so many people, we were having this discussion last night about men and access to conversations around sex that isn't just like, you know, which is fine, you know, the dirty stuff, but like all these different nuanced conversations about our sexuality. Woo. So yeah, I felt like this was so needed too. So Mutual Admiration Society, but like, thank you for creating all these amazing containers that you do. And the events that you do are so amazing. That House of Yes one, I was blown away. So
I'm glad you had so much fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to come back to New York and do it again.
Yes, you know, in the future when we figure these things out. But that really actually warms my heart that you were having these conversations last night, because when you start a thing like this, and I'm sure you had this kind of thought in your head with Future of Sex, you're like, does anyone else care about these things that I care about? Which is why I've been so thrilled to listen to your podcast, to listen to you talk. I was watching the field talks that you did, the very first field talks.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Was really, really excited about all of the things that you were sharing, including like the game that you helped to create. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, and also give us a little taste of what you'll be talking about tomorrow in terms of dating and relationships.
Sure. Sorry, I keep changing. That's just me being vain and trying to like figure out how does this work / what's the best light.
The best.
Here we go. Yeah, so the field talk was a couple of months ago when COVID sort of just hit. I'm in Australia right now. I live pretty much in between Australia and New York. I've never been in Australia this long in the past 8 years. But the conversation about sex follows you wherever you go, right? Because it is always present with us. And I had the same feeling of like, do people care about this stuff? I came from a tech background, and I was thinking, are people noticing what I'm noticing? You know, is this weird or strange to be thinking about the future of sex and technology, how it impacts the future, you know? And the first sort of obvious stuff I was thinking about was like fucking robots or, you know, VR porn. But the reality of the conversation is a lot of the ways that we use technology today impacts the way we have sex and the way we think about our sexuality. And so Future of Sex really started as this podcast looking at the future and what's possible as this safe way to discuss what's actually happening today and have the access to normalizing a conversation about, well, how are we using technology today for our sex lives and improving it, or, you know, helping with pain or assault prevention. I mean, this spectrum's so big. And I think it's got even more interesting now that people are under lockdown and we're all realizing how much of our lives are being lived online, including our sexual lives, whether that's dating, relating, online sex parties. And, you know, we saw this surge at the start of COVID, and now this sort of excitement around all these new things that we can do with sex is kind of tapering off, I felt. So to ramble a little bit, but to say that the conversation around sex and technology is so broad. There's been this interesting spike around COVID. And when we had this discussion with the field guys a couple of months ago, I was talking about all sorts of different ways people were using technology to maintain intimacy, but also developing this product, Wheel of Foreplay, which was like this idea behind it. It's essentially a spin the wheel game where you can play it online. It's like a modern spin the wheel. It's not brain surgery by any means, but how do you have fun using technology instead of that thing of like, oh my God, I'm being sucked into another distraction online. Right. And so it comes up with funny suggestions of things to do, range from funny to like really dirty. And I must say I had a ton of fun writing the copy with everyone. And, you know, we got it sponsored by YouPorn, which helped with the build and the, if you go to Wheel of Foreplay, you'll see it's like a really fun, artistic sort of rendering
beautiful.
of it.
It's so much fun to look at and like play with. I had a bunch of friends. We all got on House Party and we're doing the Wheel of Foreplay. And I was like, I love it. Get in trouble or kicked off House Party for this.
Yeah, we need more fun. Like, I think there needs to be more play in this time, where people are we're either looking for like meaning or like, how do I save my relationship right now? Or we're looking for just like, give me some just relief. What is going to be playful and fun? And I'm not a therapist, but I know technology, and I was like, this is something I can do, is play with technology. So that's where that went. But yeah, you know, tomorrow we're going to be exploring this topic around dating, and I'm really excited to talk with men and also, you know, to talk with Daryl, this sort of theme we have of like old school versus new school. I don't know if you want to talk more on that.
Yeah, so Daryl Grindstone really comes from kind of an old school way of going about interacting with people. He's never been on a dating app. He's all about like listening to his confidence and striking up a conversation with a person, which is a thing that I feel like a lot of people nowadays will talk about how hard that is, and whether or not that's because we have our own insecurities or those insecurities get projected or playing out onto another person. And then what I know of your background and what I've heard you talk about the technology aspect, and especially what stuck out to me when you were talking last at the Field Talks was how much we are being proven in this very technology-driven area that like all people really want is connection. And so I'm really excited to see the two of you that come from kind of different perspectives on how we relate to one another, like really almost in my point of view say the exact same thing. You're just going at it in different ways. So I'm so excited to see this happen and to listen to you chat.
Yeah, it's such a great point, because even when we look at the future of sex, right, and we're always talking about the future of sex, what will happen, and this big question about what's going to happen, like what are our hopes and dreams for the future? Ultimately, it's not some like techie answer where we're all holograms having group sex with aliens, although that kind of sounds cool too, and that's playful and fun. But what are we seeking outside of that pleasure? It really is connection, and like the tools are one thing, but like the humanity of all the technology is so important. And if there's not that humanity inside the technology, generally the tech fails, right? It doesn't work, because we want to see the human side, and that's really like a core level. No matter if we like, what is it, like upload our brains to the, I don't know, whatever, Skynet. I don't know those references. I really should. To the cloud. You know, I know the cloud. At the end of the day, what our soul seeks is this connection with one another in order to see ourselves. You know, we are so much making sense of ourselves through another person's reflection all the time. And, you know, this is how we're doing it now. So, yeah, I'm excited too. It's almost like, nothing's really changed about our core needs.
Yeah. Has anything during this time for you changed with your relationship with technology and how you connect with other people?
Yeah, you know, I think... you know, I was making a joke of like finding the right light and everything, but having spent the last 4 years, and especially the last 2 years, right, on stage talking about sex and technology, being very public and everything, I think the one thing I realized is all that can strip away, and you don't have to, you know, have the makeup or the right sort of setup. Like, I'm still in my PJs, it's 10:30. I think that's kind of been a beautiful thing about COVID, is we've just stripped ourselves back. And for me, just knowing how much less I need of the like fuzzy, you know, sparkles, and much more. It's much more about being real and just being like, well, this is it, and we're in this shit together. And that seems to be much more meaningful. And there was a funny like Instagram thing shared of like my friends in 2018 in that big line and my friends in 2020. I don't know if you saw, and the people slowly goes down. Eventually it's just a dog. And I related so hard to that. I was like, yeah, just the fluff has sort of come off. And it's funny in technology too, because Zoom fatigue is real. People are tired. After our initial excitement, even I feel like, you know, people on dating apps and video chats and stuff, they're just sort of like, yeah, well, where is this going now? With like the excitement of all of that has become more of an energy toll. So if you're going to invest, it's much more stripped back, which is exciting, because then it's like, okay, what is actually the useful part of this tech? So that's what's changed. Yeah, off the top of my head.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the thing that you said there that like is really like resonating with me is just like authenticity and like being your true self. And if that means you're waking up at, you know, I think it's what, 10 a.m. in the morning in Melbourne. Wait, how did we say we're going to say it? Melbourne. Yep. You know, and it's 10 a.m. and you're waking up and this is how you look. Or me, I just went out and ate a bunch of cookies, like basically ransacked Whole Food and stuffed a bunch of cookies in my face. Like, this is who we really are. And like getting the glimpse into people's homes and the intimacy. And then like really being like, if it's not anything other than that real ass shit, I'm not about it. And I think that's really what people are learning now. It's like, you can't give your energy to things that aren't that. And that's really what we're supposed to be doing and trying to be doing and going to be doing tomorrow night, is getting together and just being real about the stuff that's going on. And it's not a space to be ashamed of the things that you think or ashamed of what's coming up for us. You know, I really want to provide a space for everyone to be able to talk very vulnerably. But right now, I believe that there's less spaces for men to do that. And if we're all going to grow, everyone has to be able to do that at some point. So that's really what it was born out of. And I cannot wait to have you talk tomorrow. I can't wait for all of the other brilliant people that we have talking. We just had that quick, 10 minutes that we had together on the phone. It was so cool to see everybody coming together and be excited about tomorrow. So I know that we've got some good stuff cooking up.
Yeah, you do such a beautiful job of creating a safe space. And I think that's really the art to any event, right? But particularly now when we're talking about stuff around men and sex and providing that container for people to have a vulnerable conversation, I think you're a person that just does it so well. And thanks for creating that for all of us. I think this is really special. And I feel like I'm about to learn so much. I know nothing. And just being a listener and helping, you know, coax the answers out of Daryl and mine, his brain for info is going to be so much fun. And let me tell you, from New York to Australia to all around, this topic around men having that space is happening right now. And it's weird. Like in the last 24 hours, I had a call with my best friend on it. I had sex tech school last night where the whole class, it's 10 women and 1 guy. We ended up talking about this being so necessary and there not being any spaces. And everyone was like, does anyone know any spaces? Where is this happening? And I was like, well, let me tell you. And then this morning I got sent a startup which is happening in Australia, very similar to HIMSS in America, which is providing, you know, men's sexual health and hair loss and all these things that's starting to touch on sex and men and all these things. So it's very much, if I put my futurist cap on and think about the trends within the business of the industry, we're seeing it's about to make a ton of money globally. There are the right people in place to be having these conversations. And I mean, when the business stuff like that starts to come and the investment in the millions, you know that there's a huge opportunity there, even if you've intuitively felt it before. And a lot of the pitches I'm getting at the moment are around, you know, the next big trend in sex tech is men, you know, and it is for men. We don't have these products for men that are socially acceptable. Like a fleshlight still looks fucking ugly, right? Or
Yeah.
it's not as beautiful as some of the women's toys, which you wouldn't be out of place on like the table, right? Or it looks like it could be sitting in a museum. Some of them are just like works of art, whereas play toys for men, especially at their first time and they want to explore something, the level of shame and taboo around even using a male masturbator at the moment is, you know, like it's sort of like this is not something people find easy to talk about with their partners, with their friends, with anyone they're having sex with, or even themselves. So I feel like we're at a tipping point with this stuff, and certainly from what I'm seeing on like the business side, it's coming.
Yeah.
So get ready. Everyone get in place.
We're so ready. So excited. Well, thank you so much for coming on and chatting and warming up with us for tomorrow. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. And
Me too.
We're going to have a good time. I mean, the point of all of this is to have fun. Like there's
Yeah.
so much bad, negative stuff happening right now that we don't need any more of that. We want to learn and we want to have fun and we want to be real. So we're going to put those hats on tomorrow and just show up and have a good time.
Love it. Love it. I can't wait. And
we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for being on. Have a good day.
You too. Have a good night. Thanks for my first time.
Yes. How'd it go? How'd it feel?
I feel all warm and fuzzy, like I have to take off my hoodie now.
Good. Good. Yay, that's what we aim for. All right, babe.
Okay.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.